Welcome. It's the one and only Guy Johnny, also known as Culture Johnny. And you're here with 5D Transformations. And this video right here is really big, man. It's important. And what is really, my message to you in this video is really about, you know, uh, your vision and validation, and how validation will get in the way of your vision, because people are waiting for validation when really you're only going to gain validation when you're going full speed at whatever your vision is. It's like, I know so many people I work with and coach and help, and I know a big thing that I come across all the time is people want to be so perfect. They want to have everything locked in so perfectly, and okay, I'm going to release this when it's perfect, and oh man, this isn't good enough, so I'm going to just wait till this is that. And it's like, man, how much time are you about to waste before you finally put something out there? It's like time keeps going by and nothing, and there's no creations because you're waiting to be perfect. And it's like nobody even cares. And I'm going to just give you all a big tip that I learned from my studies and self-development, and then some big secrets I learned in regard to just my own personal development and from teachers that I learned from. And what I learned was like, people are trying to wait to have all the degrees and all the accreditation and all the certificates before they feel as though they can step up and help somebody. And what I'm here to say is like, if you can help somebody now and you have knowledge and wisdom, you don't need all that. You can help somebody right now. There's somebody out there that already, you have all the value that they need. And it's just a matter of you putting out enough creation for them to come across your value. It doesn't take 1 million followers for you to be a value, or for you to be, okay, now I have 1 million followers, so now is my time. But until then, when I get to 1 million followers, it's gonna happen. No, like even with 100 followers, even with 10 views on a video, you could touch so many people, and those are real people that are watching. Those are real people that can use your help. Let's say you help people at an elementary school, and people are thinking, oh, you just help people at one elementary school. These are real people that you're touching, that you're affecting, right? And even beyond that, like for my people who want to create something or do something, like you got to understand that, validation is getting in your way because you're waiting for people to like validate it to feel as though it's worthy of what it is. And what I think is like, man, people are a little bit too late to the show. You got 3 kinds of people that are going to be observers. You're going to have the people that are going to be ahead of the curve. They're going to know, like, you can have 2 followers and they're going to be like, look, I know this dude is great. And that's how I am with people, like people that I've watched, even musicians that I've listened to. I always had an ear for musicians that I knew were great. And I never cared, if everybody caught on. I just would hear a song and I'd be like, yo, like it's one musician in particular, Brent Fayez. People might know him, people might not. It doesn't matter. But I remember I had a friend in college that put me on his music way early, when he was just like out here on the come up. And he knew him from like school or some of their friends. He was like, yeah, my boy makes music. He's really good. And I'm like, okay. So I listened to it. And as soon as I heard it, I said, oh, bro, this dude is a monster. Like this dude, he has it. He has it. I knew it. And I'm sitting here, I'd show people, I'd be like, yo, this dude's nice. And they'd be like, damn, that's dope. And then, I would just know, I listened to his stuff. I was an avid fan. I didn't care how many followers he had because I was like, man, he makes great music. And I had that zest for life, like that like energy, like, man, this dude is so dope because I love music. I'm not worried about the clout. And what I'm saying is like, everybody's so big on the clout and everybody wants to go viral. And everybody wants to be this get everyone's love first to then feel like, oh yeah, now I'm the man. But what I want to teach on this channel, and what I've been teaching this whole time, if you go back to my first video, that's exactly what I said this channel was for. I said this channel isn't about the crowd and everybody validating you. It's like, I want to speak to the person that is great right now that doesn't have all the clout, because that's the person, like, you have the gift, you have something that's special to the world, and you don't need 1 million people to validate it for you to know that you're great. And I'm like, man, it's so easy to feel like you're the man when you hit the game buzzer 3-pointer in the NBA finals, and the whole world is like, oh, he's the best, and you feel like Michael Jordan. But how about that dude that hits that game buzzer when he's playing at a local park? You know, you got to feel like a champion for that. Or let's say you passed your final exam and you did a good job. Like, you got to cheer for yourself the same way we would cheer for that person. It's like we prop up certain people because, you know, as being so great. But it's like, man, the only difference between them and you as a great person is that they have a bunch of people to validate their greatness, you know? And with that, don't get me wrong, it comes with a lot of hate as well. So you got to respect those people in terms of the level that they're at. But what about the level that you're at? You know, are we going to live this life feeling like we're less than other people because we don't have a bunch of people cheering us on? You got to realize, like, that you have freedom from that, because just as much as people would cheer you on is just as much as people would turn on you the next day. So my whole point is the validation is really the illusion, because if you have a gift, you have a gift. If you're great, you're great. And, you know, to go back to the point of, okay, people be wanting this validation to feel as though, okay, now I can create, now I can bring something to the table. And what I'm here to say is there's three kinds of people. The people that notice early, like I said, that was like me. Then you got the people that are kind of like your peer group, and they kind of see you as like, well, he's not validated by any people. It isn't like Kanye West came down and said this dude's great. And these are your people who are kind of waiting to see what you're going to do, but they don't care because there's no major people like stamping it. You know, they're the same ones where if you go major next year and big things start to happen, they'll be, oh, I know him. Oh, that's my boy. I knew he was going to make it. But it's like when I drop a post on something, you're not liking it. You know, like my YouTube right now. Let's say I do 1 million views at a certain point, and then people are like, oh yeah, I know it's YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But it's like right now, they don't care about my YouTube. But if I'm doing 1 million views and then people start noticing me and all this stuff, now it's like, oh yeah, I know that dude, blah, 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 right? And it's like, man, so they're waiting, you know, for you to do something major before they hop on the ride. So they're two behind, right? They're two behind. But then you got the people who are like, they don't even believe in you at all. They're looking at you like you're like what you're doing is a waste of time. And those are the people that are really, you know, the ones that are the worst, because it's like, you know, they don't believe in you. They don't think you're capable of doing what you're capable of. They'll listen to your music and hate on it because, you know, they'll feel as though like, oh man, you know what I mean? There's no way this is going to do anything. You know what I mean? Or those are people you would call your haters, you know? So with that being said, you got to look at it and be like, you know, you either are in group 1, those are the people you're looking to connect with. Everybody in group 2 and 3, they just don't matter. And the big thing about what I'm saying is that you'll find yourself hanging around people in group 2 and 3 way more than you hanging around people in group 1. Naturally, you might be around family that just doesn't care about your work, that's hating on your work. They might be like, yeah, you should give that up and do this and do that. They just don't believe you can do it. They're too used to you. What do you call it? Familiarity breeds contempt. You know what I mean? So they're so familiar with you, it's like there's a contempt there. Like they don't even value it at a certain level. And then you got people who are kind of like, whatever, like you drop something, or you might put up a YouTube video, or you might put up an IG or a TikTok video, or even if you don't do videos, you know, you might post something on Facebook to your immediate people, and people just scrolling through, give it one like. And you're like, damn, I'm getting 2 likes on this Facebook post or this Twitter post. And like, I said some really great stuff. And like, I got all these people that I know from middle school, high school, college, my family, and like nobody cares. But then you'll post a picture up on vacation and you'll get all this response, and it's like, damn, these people really don't care about what I care about, the things that I'm passionate about when I speak my truth, right? And that can be very discouraging. But what I want you to know is, what I've learned from the great teachers is that you got to double down. You got to keep dropping whatever you do. You got to just keep being you to the fullest. And regardless, man, you might go from 20 years old to 60 years old and you never went big, right? But you always posted what you felt. You always did what you wanted to do. You might have been a carpenter. You just kept creating as a carpenter. You might have been an artist. You just kept drawing as an artist. You might have been somebody that spoke your truth about spirituality and growth. You might have been somebody that shared your struggles dealing with a narcissist in your life. It's like, whatever you do, you're here to do something. And you're not just here to like work a job and just be like this quiet person in the corner, you know, and maybe you were, and that's okay if you were, but maybe you weren't. And to a lot of the people I speak to, maybe you weren't. And the goal is to just be that person. And then when your time comes, like they say, when preparation meets opportunity, that's when your time's gonna come and you're gonna be ready. And that's what it's about. You know, you do the work not looking for validation. You do the work because that's what you do. Like when a bird flies or if a bird sings, it sings because that's what a bird does. You know what I mean? If you're an artist, you draw or you create because that's what an artist does. If you're a fashion designer, you just keep doing fashion. You know what I mean? It might not be at the biggest level, but you keep doing it and you take pride in it like you're the You know what I'm saying? You do that because that's what you do. And that's what it's about. We got to take it back to the art form and keep the validation to the side, because it's all about being balanced. Because like I just said, as much as they'll love you, that's just as much as they'll hate you. So it's not really about them. You know what I mean? You name me how many artists was at the top of the world and then they fell all the way to the bottom. It's because at a certain point, their art became more about the audience and the people than it did about the art itself. So what I'm here to say is you got to do what you do. And the people who don't believe, you know where they stand. Don't stop spending time with those level two, with those, you know, number 2 and number 3 people that don't see you as great, and spend more time focusing on the one people that are like, yo, you're a genius, you know. And like, you might have 20 people that like what you do and really understand what you do, but that 20 people will take you to the moon. You know what I mean? And then you might be around hundreds of people that you see all the time that don't believe. And it's like, yo, you need to spend less and less time with them, because the more time you spend with those people, they're going to keep you at that level. They're going to keep reinforcing that lower self-image, and they're going to hold you down with them, because they're projecting on you what they see for themselves. They can't see you being successful at a certain level because they can't even see themselves being successful at a certain level. But if you get around other people that have more access and bigger visions, and they've seen people become successful, they've seen people go from 0 to 1 million, and then you talk to them and they might look at you like, oh, bro, you right there. Matter of fact, let me connect you with this person that can put you in this position. You know what I mean? So it's all about who you know, but it begins with you, and you have to vibrate and shine every day like the sun for yourself. And to close it out, I'll just say, think of the sun. You know, the sun shines every day. It doesn't care if we give it praise or not. It just shows up every day. And that's how you have to show up every day if you want to take something to the next level and really build your creations to that next point. Okay? Be like the sun, and you'll see yourself shine and create. And that's why we're here today, because we know that sun's going to be here tomorrow. And that's how your dreams are going to be when they think of you. They know you're going to come every day shining your vision on your dreams and your purpose. And that's why they're going to grow and sustain life. So that's my message to you all. Make sure to like and subscribe. Got a lot of videos coming up. I appreciate y'all listening, man. And make sure to check out that Patreon. If you got any questions, make sure to visit your 5D transformations at gmail.com. Thank y'all for listening. We'll talk soon. Peace.